A very handsome man asks Lifia if she would like to stay beside him as his wife from now on, because that is what he truly wants. When Lifia hears this, she becomes completely shocked and cannot find any words to say. The man continues to speak and gently asks her what she thinks about his proposal. At the same time, Lifia only looks at him with her wide and beautiful eyes, quietly thinking about how she has never felt needed by anyone before in her life. This new feeling inside her makes her feel warm and strangely happy. After this moment, we learn more about the land called Wisteria, which was once known as the Frozen Continent. Long ago, it was a cold and lifeless place, but things changed. It turns out that Lifia, who is very beautiful, was given strength along with a special prayer by a great saint who possessed a holy spirit. Because of this blessing, the world tree came back to life, and the land changed into a rich and green paradise. The kingdom of Victoria is built on this land, and in this place, magic is extremely important and highly valued. The reason for this is that the world tree is said to be close to the end of its life, and it is only able to survive because of the magic power that is offered by the noble families. In this world, only nobles and royal people can use magic, while common people have little or no magic at all. Another important detail is that the amount of magic a person has is shown by the color of their hair. The deeper and richer the color, the stronger the magic. People with black hair are believed to have the highest level of magic power. In Lifia's family, her father and her sister, Sepia, both have red hair, while her mother has soft pink, flower-like hair. However, Lifia is different because she has pure white hair. Because of this, Sepia has to carry a heavy responsibility of offering magic crystals to make up for Lifia's lack of magic. There is still a small hope, as when Lifia turns 8 years old, her mana will be tested. If even a tiny amount of magic is found in her, she can live a normal life. But when that important day finally arrives, Lifia goes for the test and finds out that she has absolutely no magic at all, not even the smallest amount. This makes her father, Evan, feel very disappointed, and he even insults her by calling her useless. After this, Lifia is moved to live in the West Wing, far away from the rest of the family, but for her, this feels better because she no longer has to show her weak and sad side to her sister. One day, Lifia walks out of her room, but she sees that there is no lunch for her again. She thinks about how this has started happening again and again, and she wonders if she will ever be given food properly anymore. She even begins to think about how long it might take before everyone completely forgets about her and stops remembering that she even exists at all. However, things change a little from a certain time when Lifia turns 13 years old. From that day, her sister Sepia begins to bring her meals. On some days, Sepia brings her simple and normal food, while on other days she prepares special meals just for Lifia. Receiving this kind of care and love from her sister makes Lifia feel very happy and comforted. But one day, while eating one of the special meals, Lifia is not able to finish her food. This makes Sepia worried, and she asks Lifia if something is wrong. Lifia, however, tries to act normal and tells her that everything is fine and there is nothing wrong at all. Right after that, Lifia starts thinking quietly in her mind that Sepia would never try to harm her in any way. At the same time, she begins to wonder what kind of soup she was given, because her body is not feeling normal at all. Lifia also starts thinking if something bad or painful might have happened to Sepia during the past 5 years. Even so, she feels that she cannot waste Sepia's kindness, so she quickly joins her hands together and begins to pray to the goddess of Hestia, asking for more blessings. This action surprises Sepia a lot. About a week after Sepia starts bringing her meals, Lifia's health suddenly begins to get worse very quickly. Because of this, Lifia is forced to stop eating the food that Sepia brings. However, this situation is used against her by her mother, who keeps scolding her for not eating her meals. Lifia tries to explain that she has not been feeling well recently, but her mother ignores this completely and continues to shout at her, calling her ungrateful. The situation becomes even worse when her mother starts kicking her while she is on the floor. Even then, Lifia quietly accepts all the pain without reacting, keeping a blank look on her face, thinking that her mother must also feel pain in her heart because of her existence. Lifia even gives a small smile while looking at her mother, thinking that at least she can still be seen in her mother's eyes, even if it is only through anger and hatred. With tears in her eyes, Lifia keeps enduring the pain that her mother is giving her, even though it hurts deeply. As she is about to lose consciousness and faint, she suddenly hears Sepia entering the room and asking their mother to stop. When Lifia slowly opens her eyes again, she notices that all her wounds have already been treated and carefully covered. She also realizes that she no longer feels any pain in her body, and this makes her feel very thankful towards Sepia. In her heart, Lifia thinks about how Sepia has always remained the same kind and gentle person, just like she was during their childhood days. Later on, when Lifia steps out of her room, she expresses her gratitude to Sepia for taking care of her injuries. However, Sepia looks completely confused and does not understand what Lifia is talking about at all. She clearly tells Lifia that she has no idea about any such thing and instead says that she has come to bring her food. Hearing this, Lifia still thanks her sister warmly for her kindness. Sepia then says that she has crushed the food and wishes Lifia good luck in trying to eat it. Lifia misunderstands this and thanks Sepia again, believing that she made the food easier for her to swallow. However, Sepia raises her voice and clearly says that she never had such a kind intention in mind. After saying this, she quickly leaves the room. Lifia tries to stop her and call her back, but she is unable to do so. After that, Lifia offers a prayer to Lady Hestia, and when she looks at her bowl, she sees that it is filled with warm and fragrant porridge. Seeing this, Lifia wonders how fire magic could possibly create such delicious food. The next day, her meal is brought to her by the maids, and once again it is Sepia who comes with the food. Lifia thanks her for the bread and porridge from the previous day, but Sepia once again says that she does not know what Lifia is talking about. As time passes and a few years go by, Lifia grows older and is now 18 years old. One day, she is suddenly called to a gathering where all her family members are present together. At that moment, her father Evan calls out her name for the very first time in her life and tells her that she will be married to Duke Ulfin Kronos. Lifia is left completely shocked, not only because of the marriage decision but also because her father has finally spoken her name after so long. Lifia is then told that Duke Ulfin is known as the greatest mage in the entire kingdom, and many people respect his power and abilities. It is also said that he has deep black hair, which is completely opposite to Lifia's pure white hair. When Lifia hears this, she feels surprised and cannot believe that such a high and noble person would be willing to marry someone like her. At that moment, Sepia speaks and tells Lifia not to get too hopeful, saying that she is telling her this for her own good. Sepia then explains that Duke Ulfin always wears a mask because he is suffering from a terrible curse. As Lifia listens carefully to her sister's words, she begins to remember that she once met someone who also wore a mask like that. Sepia continues to speak and adds that Kronos is widely known in the kingdom as the cursed masked duke. Right after this, their mother also joins the conversation and says in a cold tone that it is quite amazing that someone as useless as Lifia has managed to find a person to marry her. Hearing this, Lifia does not react with anger and instead gives a gentle smile, politely telling her mother that she is thankful for this opportunity. This answer makes Sepia very upset, and she suddenly loses control of her emotions. She starts scolding Lifia and asks her how she can still smile even after knowing that she is being married off in return for a large amount of dowry. With a calm and soft smile, Lifia explains that she feels happy because, for the first time in her life, she can finally be of some use to her family. She then tells Sepia not to worry about her at all. In response, Sepia quickly denies caring about her in any way. After this, Lifia quietly excuses herself and goes back to her room to start packing her belongings. Once inside her room, she begins to think about what she should take with her. She carefully packs her board games, her clothes, and a coat that holds special meaning for her. This coat reminds her of a memory from when she was 15 years old and attended her very first ball. On that special day, Lifia met a man wearing a mask outside the ballroom. He kindly gave her his coat and told her to go inside quickly because it was very cold outside. Lifia still remembers that moment clearly even now and considers it one of the happiest memories of her life, and she quietly tells herself that she will never forget the kindness that man showed to her. While thinking about that special day, Lifia clearly remembers that the man she met also had black hair just like the duke she is about to marry now. Because of this, she quietly hopes in her heart that the man she will marry is the very same person she met before. If that turns out to be true, she wants to thank him properly and sincerely for the kindness he once showed her. Many times, during her life, Lifia has felt very lonely and left out from everyone else around her. During those sad and quiet moments, it was always the memory of that man's kindness that gave her comfort and kept supporting her heart. The very next day arrives, and Lifia stands in front of the large and grand Kronos mansion, ready to begin a completely new life. As she steps inside the mansion, she is welcomed by a man named Joseph Vega, who is the head butler of the Duke of Kronos estate. Lifia politely introduces herself and also tells Joseph that she is looking forward to working together with him from now on. After that, Lifia is taken further inside the mansion, where she begins to feel that everyone living there has a very strong and powerful amount of magic. After a short while, Joseph introduces Lifia to Lady Irene. Irene warmly greets Lifia and kindly welcomes her into the family, while introducing herself as the mother of the man Lifia is going to marry. At that moment, Lifia notices Irene's shining golden hair and remembers that such a hair color means that Irene is a user of light magic. When Lifia hears that Irene is Ulfin's mother, she feels very surprised and confused. At first, she had thought that Irene might be his sister because Irene looks far too young for her actual age. Still, Lifia quickly greets Irene politely and tells her that she is very happy to meet her. She also apologizes for the clothes she is wearing, explaining that these were the best clothes she was able to find. However, Irene gently tells her not to worry about such things at all and asks Joseph to take Lifia to her room, mentioning that proper clothes have already been prepared for her. On the way to her room, Lifia is introduced to her personal maid named Mia Porto. Mia kindly and sweetly introduces herself and then guides Lifia inside her room. Soon after, Lifia is dressed in new clothes and her hair is carefully styled. Even then, Lifia still feels a little uncomfortable and says that she is not sure if she should be wearing such beautiful clothes. However, Mia gently reassures her and explains that these clothes were specially prepared just for her. As they continue their conversation, Lifia suddenly remembers that there was something important she wanted to ask Mia. Lifia takes out the coat that was once given to her by the masked man and shows it to Mia, asking if she recognizes it. Mia looks at the coat carefully and says that it seems a little familiar to her. After looking more closely at the fine details and design of the coat, Mia realizes and confirms that it belongs to the Kronos family. Hearing this, Lifia explains how she received this coat in the past when she was not properly dressed and felt embarrassed. With a bright and happy smile on her face, Lifia also shares that she never got the chance to ask the man for his name back then, but now she feels very happy knowing that the man who gave her the coat was actually the one she is going to marry. Mia also becomes excited after hearing this story and says that Lady Irene will surely be very happy to hear about it too. After this, both Lifia and Mia go together to meet Irene and tell her everything that happened. When Irene hears the story, she feels very happy and expresses her joy. She tells Lifia that she is glad that she has come into their lives because Alphen has been treated like an outcast for most of his life due to his curse. Wanting to help Alphen, Lifia politely asks Irene to tell her more about him. Irene then explains that Alphen has always been very talented since he was a young child. During his early years, he worked as an assistant to the crown prince, and when he turned 15 years old, he inherited the title of Duke. However, around that same time, a terrible incident happened. Alphen protected the crown prince from an attack and was hit by a curse from a basilisk, which is a demon from the cursed snake clan. Irene further explains that the curse is slowly spreading across his body like scales, and that it will eventually take his life. After hearing this, Lifia asks where Alphen is now and finds out that he has been resting in his room for more than 6 months. Lifia then offers to take care of him and help him recover his health. Irene feels very thankful and tells Lifia that she is the first person to ever say something like this. After that, they both decide to go and meet him. Irene knocks on the door, but when there is no answer, she gently opens it and goes inside. At that moment, Lifia finally sees Duke Alphen for the first time and feels a sense of relief in her heart. Irene's glove suddenly slips off by accident, and Lifia quickly bends down and kneels to pick it up for her. However, when Lifia stands up again, she is shocked to see that cursed scales have also appeared on Irene's hand. This surprises Lifia deeply, and she realizes that the curse is far more powerful and serious than she had imagined before. Because of this, Lifia gently turns to Irene and tells her that she should go and rest properly, while assuring her that she will take care of Alphen from now on. Irene thanks Lifia kindly for her concern and quietly leaves the room. After that, Lifia thinks about how Irene seemed to be suffering from a very high fever, which made her even more worried. Then, Lifia turns her attention toward Alphen, and after a short moment, he slowly wakes up and weakly tells her that he cannot breathe properly. Hearing this, Lifia quickly moves closer and carefully unbuttons a few buttons of his clothes so that he can breathe more easily. As she does this, she suddenly becomes stunned when she sees Alphen's beautiful purple eyes as their eyes meet for a brief moment. However, she quickly comes back to her senses and politely introduces herself to him. On the other hand, Alphen appears very uncomfortable and uneasy in her presence. Seeing this, Lifia gently explains that she was sent by Irene and that she is here to take care of him. But this is not what Alphen is worried about at all. He tells Lifia that it is unfortunate for her that she has been made his new wife. Lifia feels confused and does not understand why he is saying such things. Alphen then tells Lifia that he will give her money as a settlement and that he will explain everything to his mother as well, asking her to leave this place. He also reveals that she is the third wife who has been brought here. He explains that the first woman became too afraid and could not stay, while the second woman refused to come near him because she believed he was a monster. After giving them money, both of them left. Alphen believes that it would be best to do the same with Lifia, thinking that she would not want to stay with someone like him or have children with a person he calls a monster. Meanwhile, Lifia does not understand why Alphen is speaking so harshly about himself. She gently reaches out her hand toward him without thinking, trying to calm him down, but Alphen quickly moves away and tells her not to touch him. At that moment, Lifia feels that she made a mistake and begins to think that Alphen is actually a kind and gentle person inside. Then, Lifia gently asks Alphen if he remembers giving a coat to a girl during the Earl Evans ball long ago. Alphen thinks for a moment and says that he faintly remembers something like that happening. After hearing this, Lifia tells him that she was the girl who received that coat, and that it was the very first time in her life that someone had shown her such kindness. She explains that because of that moment, she feels very happy to be standing here with him now. Lifia also tells him that she had always wished that one day she would meet him again so that she could thank him properly for what he did. As she speaks, she slowly steps a little closer to Alphen and softly asks if she can stay by his side, at least until his health becomes better. Alphen, feeling uneasy, covers part of his face with his hand and asks Lifia if she is not afraid of him, even though he is cursed and believes that his appearance is ugly and unpleasant. Hearing this, Lifia calmly explains that what truly stayed in her heart was not his appearance, but his kindness, which supported her during her hardest times. She tells him that his looks do not matter to her at all. At the same time, Lifia understands how painful it must feel when people look at him with fear or cold expressions, because she has experienced the same kind of treatment in her own life. She shares that during those difficult days, the only person who helped her stay strong was her sister, Sepia. Even now, Lifia does not care about Alphen's cursed face as she gently reaches out and holds his hand. However, Alphen quickly pulls his hand away and tries to hide his face again. At that moment, Lifia quietly thinks to herself that she wants to save this innocent boy no matter what happens, and she truly believes that Alphen is a person who has a very deep and warm kindness inside him. As their emotional talk continues, Alphen keeps wiping his tears again and again with his arms. Seeing this, Lifia quickly tells him not to rub his face too much because his wounds might swell and become worse later. She gently tells him that she will go and bring some clean and fresh towels for him. Hearing this, Alphen speaks in a serious tone and apologizes to Lifia, saying that he did not want to show her his weak and pitiful side. However, Lifia quickly replies that this is not what she meant at all and tries to calm him. After a moment, Alphen realizes that he is not thinking clearly and that he acted in a harsh way, so he apologizes properly this time and tells her that he did not mean to suddenly raise his voice like that. Avoiding her eyes, he quietly says that even she would not want to cry in front of someone she has only just met. Lifia silently thinks to herself that she has gone through similar situations during her childhood and understands how he feels. After that, Lifia softly asks Alphen if he might be feeling hungry. Without any delay, Alphen replies that he does not have any appetite at all. Lifia then quickly says that she once read in a book that eating healthy food is important to recover from illness, so she gently insists that he should try to eat something. In response, Alphen reminds her that she said she would stay by his side. Lifia quietly thinks to herself that it seems like Alphen actually wants her to stay close to him. She then tells him not to worry because Joseph will soon bring food for him. Meanwhile, when Lifia goes to the kitchen, she begins to feel more and more nervous. After a short moment, she gathers herself and realizes that she needs to stay focused on preparing the food. After some time passes, Lifia returns to Alphen's room, but she sees that he has fallen asleep again. When she looks at him more closely, she notices that he seems to be in less pain than before, which makes her feel a bit relieved. Not long after that, Joseph arrives with a meal for Alphen, but he also notices that Alphen is already asleep. Lifia quickly stands up and remembers that she forgot to inform Joseph earlier, so she apologizes to him for that. Joseph then kindly tells Lifia that she should eat the meal instead. However, Lifia gently replies that she will wait and eat together with Alphen when he wakes up because she has read that food tastes better when shared with someone. After that, Joseph prepares to leave, and Lifia thanks him politely. In response, Joseph respectfully asks Lifia not to use formal honorifics when speaking to him, and Lifia agrees to this. After he leaves, Lifia checks on Alphen once again and realizes that he still has a fever, which makes her worried about him. Lifia quietly wonders if Alphen would be able to eat even a very small amount of food when he wakes up. After thinking for a while, she decides to prepare some clean clothes for him so that he can change later. Then, she gently folds her hands and starts praying for his health and well-being with full sincerity. After some time passes, Alphen slowly wakes up and realizes that it is already morning. He also understands that Lifia must have stayed beside him the whole night without leaving even once. Lifia softly asks him how he is feeling now, and Alphen replies that his fever has gone down and he feels much lighter and better than before. Hearing this, Lifia feels very relieved and happy that he is recovering. Alphen then notices that the food placed near him is still untouched and looks exactly the same as before, so he asks Lifia if she has not eaten anything yet. Lifia gently explains that she was actually waiting so that they could eat together. Alphen then suggests that they should ask for fresh and warm food to be prepared so that they can enjoy a proper meal together. However, Lifia quickly stops him and says that the food already prepared is perfectly fine. She then quietly offers a prayer to Lady Hestia before eating. After seeing this, Alphen asks her if she has somehow warmed the food. Lifia calmly explains that she did not do anything like that and shares that something similar used to happen when she was with Sepia. But since Sepia is not here now, Lifia wonders if maybe one of the maids in the mansion warmed the food for them. Alphen, however, thinks differently about this situation. He shows how when he tries to use fire magic on a piece of bread, it gets completely burned instead of warmed properly. Because of this, he starts to believe that the food becoming warm might actually be a miracle caused by Lifia's prayers. Still, Lifia does not think of it in that way at all. At the same time, Alphen begins to wonder if this is how Lifia has lived her whole life, without even getting proper meals regularly. In response, Lifia reminds him that she does not have any magic power and quietly feels that she owes Alphen a lot for everything he has done for her. However, Alphen thinks about how she was left standing outside in the cold during that ball, even though she was a guest, and realizes how poorly she must have been treated in her own home. He then explains to Lifia that the large amount of dowry that Irene paid to her family is equal to Lifia repaying any debt she might have had toward them. Hearing this, Lifia calmly says that in return, she will serve Alphen with full gratitude from now on, and this deeply surprises him. Alphen looks at Lifia and asks her if she really came here to be his wife, because he does not remember ever asking her to serve him like a worker. Hearing this, Lifia gives a soft and gentle smile and explains that she understands that it is far greater than her worth to be able to marry a duke whom she admires so much. She humbly says that she is ready to do anything she can, including cleaning, laundry, and other simple tasks, because she believes she is not as skilled or capable as the servants who already serve Alphen. When Alphen hears this, he cannot help but laugh a little at her words. He then slowly moves closer to her, gently lifts her chin with his hand, and looks directly at her as he tells her that what he truly wants is for her to stay by his side as his wife from now on. With a calm and slightly playful smile, Alphen asks Lifia what she thinks about his offer. Hearing this, Lifia feels confused and worried at the same time because such a proposal is far beyond what she expected. Even so, she realizes that Alphen truly needs someone beside him, especially since he is still not fully well. She also notices how honest and sincere his eyes look as he speaks to her. Lifia then softly asks him if it would really be right for someone like her, who has no magic power at all, to stay beside him as his wife. In response, Alphen points to his own black hair and explains that he was born with a very strong and powerful amount of magic. He then gently suggests that they can support each other by making up for what the other person may lack, and kindly asks Lifia not to worry about such things anymore. Still feeling unsure, Lifia quietly asks if she is truly capable of helping him or filling any of his shortcomings. Alphen calmly replies that she should simply do what she loves and live the way she wants. He tells her that for him, it is more than enough just to have her by his side, smiling, because her presence alone is enough to bring warmth to his heart. Hearing these sincere and kind words, Lifia feels deeply overwhelmed with emotions. Alphen then gently changes the topic and starts talking about what happened the previous day. He tells Lifia that he knew she was trying to hold his hand because she was worried about him. However, he explains that he pushed her hand away because he thought that his actions might make her feel uncomfortable. Because of this, he sincerely apologizes to her. Lifia listens carefully and calmly tells him that she understands why he acted that way, and she assures him that she believes it was simply his kindness and concern that made him behave like that. Hearing this, Alphen becomes a little emotional and quietly reminds Lifia that he does not know how much time he has left to live. He admits that what he is about to say might sound selfish, but he still cannot stop himself from wishing for it. In a soft and gentle voice, Lifia asks him what it is that he truly wishes for. With a warm and happy smile, Alphen says that he wishes to walk through life together with her for the rest of the time he has left. The moment Lifia hears this, her heart begins to beat very fast, and she does not understand what she is feeling inside. Since she has faced many hardships and sadness since her childhood, she has never truly experienced happiness before, so she wonders if this feeling is what happiness really feels like. After a moment, Lifia softly tells Alphen that she feels happy, but she still calls him Duke out of habit and respect. Alphen then gently asks her to call him by his name instead. When Lifia finally calls him by his name, Alphen smiles and says that he is looking forward to spending time and working together with her from now on. While sitting quietly beside him, Lifia begins to think that if she truly has the ability to perform miracles, then maybe she should continue offering her prayers while holding Alphen's hand, as it might help him in some way. With this thought, she gently takes his hand into hers and starts praying sincerely. She says that she is deeply grateful from the bottom of her heart that she was able to meet Alphen. Then, she slowly closes her eyes and softly says that if her wish can be granted, she hopes to spend the rest of her life together with the Duke. Suddenly, a strange and soft light appears for a brief moment and disappears in less than a second. Feeling confused, Lifia quickly looks at Alphen's hand and notices something very surprising. She immediately brings this to Alphen's attention. Soon, both of them realize that the cursed scales on Alphen's hands have completely disappeared. This shocking news spreads very quickly throughout the mansion. When Irene hears about it, she becomes extremely happy and cannot stop expressing her joy and excitement after learning that such a miracle has happened. She even says that she never believed that God was real before, and happily adds that if she were the king, she would have declared this day as a holiday. The servants and staff of the mansion are also very happy and relieved after hearing such wonderful news. Irene continues to praise Lifia, calling her a ray of hope for the Kronos family. After this, Alphen calmly explains to Lifia that, based on what he understands, she must have used something called divine power. Lifia, not understanding what that means, listens as Alphen explains that divine power is a special and miraculous force that once belonged only to the saintess. He tells her that this power is said to have turned dry and empty lands into green and beautiful places, and it has performed miracles that people could only dream of. He also explains that the only person who can have divine power is someone who has no magic at all. Because of this, Alphen tells Lifia that everything about her matches this description perfectly, and he believes that she is the one who possesses this divine power. Hearing this, Lifia starts thinking about her childhood and remembers how her wounds would heal very quickly, sometimes even overnight, and wonders if that happened because of this power. A few days later, Lifia and Alphen are traveling together in a wagon, and during the journey, Lifia keeps quietly looking at Alphen again and again. When Alphen asks her why she is staring at him like that, Lifia softly explains that she is simply enjoying the happiness of being close to someone she truly cares about. At the same time, she quietly wonders if she will be able to completely remove Alphen's curse, since she was able to remove it from his hands before. She hopes that if she can do that, she will be able to stay by his side for a much longer time. When they finally return home, Irene quickly gathers them and asks both of them to sign the wedding papers without any delay. She then says that she is going to the Temple of Isis right away to submit the documents. Alphen feels confused and says that he has never heard of a marriage being registered in such a rushed and hurried way. Even so, both Lifia and Alphen go ahead and sign the papers. After that, Alphen asks for additional papers so that he can sign as a proxy for himself as well, explaining that he wants to write a personal vow for Lifia with his own hands. Later, when they are in the room, Alphen struggles to write properly due to his condition. Seeing this, Lifia gently holds his hand and tells him that they can write it together. Alphen thanks her for her support and begins writing the vow slowly. After finishing, he gives the papers to his mother and asks her if she plans to report Lifia's powers to the temple. Irene replies that she will not do that for now because the temple is currently dealing with a serious problem involving fake saint claims. She explains that the appraisal process is done in order, so even if they apply immediately, it could take more than 6 months before Lifia is properly evaluated. Hearing this, Lifia becomes surprised and asks what this fake saint problem is about. Irene explains that the country is currently using the magic power of nobles to keep the world tree alive, but for a full recovery, divine power is needed. She further explains that only an official appraisal at the temple can confirm whether someone has divine power, and these appraisals can only be carried out by elite nobles who possess light magic. Because of this, they are unable to handle all the requests quickly. Irene also mentions that she does not want to separate the two newly married people so soon. In the following days, Alphen's health continues to improve steadily. Lifia keeps trying to remove his curse completely, but she is unable to do so. Because of this, she starts to worry that she might once again be seen as useless and worthless, just like she was in her previous home, and fears that she might be abandoned again. Alphen quickly tells Lifia that she does not need to feel worried or anxious at all, and he says that he is simply happy just to have her by his side. Hearing this, Lifia quickly apologizes for losing her calm for a moment and begins to understand that she will not be abandoned anymore. She slowly realizes what it means for someone like Alphen to accept her and truly want her as she is. As she thinks about this, Lifia feels a strange and soft throbbing feeling in her chest, and she wonders what this new feeling really is. At the same time, she quietly hopes that one day Alphen will understand why she cares so deeply for him. With these thoughts in her heart, she thanks Alphen for everything he has done for her and gently says that she will continue to stay by his side, as long as it is not a burden for him. Soon after, Joseph arrives and informs them that their meal is ready. Just as they are about to begin eating, Alphen tries to say something to Lifia, but before he can speak, Lifia softly asks him to open his mouth. When he does, Lifia gently begins to feed him herself. She quietly wonders if it is normal for couples to feed each other like this, but since she once read about it in a book, she believes that it should be fine. Lifia also feels happy to see that Alphen has started eating more food than before, even if the increase is only small. She thinks that all the effort she made with the staff to improve his eating habits was worth it. In fact, Lifia had been worried about Alphen's diet for many days. She had even spoken with the head chef and learned that no matter how delicious the food was, Alphen would not eat it. Before that, Lifia had noticed that Alphen used his right hand when signing the papers, which made her think that he might be feeling too weak to use his other hand. The head chef agreed with her idea and explained that Alphen cares a lot about his dignity, so that might be the reason. Together, they created a proper meal plan for him, and now Lifia's efforts have finally started to show results. Slowly, Alphen's condition begins to improve more and more, and eventually, he becomes well enough to go outside and take gentle walks in the garden together with Lifia. While they are walking together in the garden, Lifia notices that soft blue flowers are blooming beautifully around them. At that moment, Alphen gently tells her that he asked for those flowers to be planted because their color matches Lifia's eye color. Hearing this, Lifia understands that this is how beautiful she must look through Alphen's eyes, but she still feels a little shy and embarrassed because of his sudden and romantic words. As she continues to look around, Lifia also notices that right beside the blue flowers, there are purple roses blooming, which look very similar to the color of Alphen's eyes. Alphen then explains that he planted those flowers on purpose so that both the blue and purple flowers would grow and bloom together, showing that he and Lifia will also stay together and walk through life side by side. He then softly admits that he does not know how long he has left to live because of his condition. Even so, he says that even if his body becomes weak or slowly breaks down, he still wants to make sure that Lifia will not feel lonely after he is gone. Alphen understands that there is no promise that this happiness will last forever, especially since he has not been able to fully heal himself even after the scales on his hands disappeared. Lifia also realizes that Alphen is trying to protect her from loneliness in the future and is thinking about her even after he is gone. Alphen then expresses his deep gratitude toward Lifia and tells her that he is truly happy to have her by his side. He continues by saying that he wants to spend as much time as possible with her and create many happy and precious memories together. However, Lifia quickly stops him and asks him not to say such things because she does not want to lose him. As she says this, Lifia becomes emotional and starts crying softly, gently leaning against Alphen's chest for comfort. At that moment, she suddenly notices that the cursed scales on Alphen's cheek have disappeared. Not only his cheek, but the scales on many other parts of his body have also vanished. Alphen feels deeply thankful for this miracle, but what makes him even happier is the fact that he can finally touch Lifia and hold her closely in his arms. At the same time, Lifia realizes that the feeling she has been experiencing in her chest all this time is actually love for Alphen. While holding her gently, Alphen finally confesses his true feelings and tells Lifia that he is deeply in love with her.